Hey, the wipe is confirmed, it will happen on the 25th of June. Keep in mind it can be postponed for a few days or even weeks, depending on how things go. And I decided to make a video to highlight the real changes that have happened since the start of early access. Not Manta's damage decreased by 15% or NPCs in River Rise are roam mid the city, only the stuff that actually affects how you play. The point of this video, whether you played at the very start of early access or you're still thinking whether to try Corepunk or not, I want to help you decide if this wipe is worth your time compared to the previous one, by quickly summarizing the biggest changes from this period. Let's start. I want to begin with the most important change, the one that was a huge pain point for a lot of players. Back then, after you finished questing and hit the highest level, many players couldn't even start endgame content. The gear you got on the way simply wasn't strong enough and there was very few ways to fix it. People hit a brick wall and a lot of them left. Now, the first and biggest improvement. The devs increased both the quantity and quality of quest rewards. So by the time you reach endgame, you can already have tier 3 artifacts, tier 3 weapons, upgrade kits and a decent amount of reroll baskets, enough to improve your gear and start endgame comfortably. On top of that, they added chapter 3 quests in the steps, which include a lot of group quests and give you even more opportunities to get decent gear while you're still preparing for endgame. Overall leveling is better too. You can see the approximate quest area on the map. Base health, armor and magic resist were improved. More power was reduced, so leveling feels more streamlined and less punishing. Another huge change. The whole farm plus catalyst green to upgrade your mastery down tree is gone. Now it upgrades passively, just by killing mobs and completing quests, which was also one of the biggest progression problems before. Yes, there is still a lot that can be improved with questing, like back and forth running, but these are already solid improvements and the lack of them was one of the reasons players quit. The gearing process overall stays the same, but it's been enriched a lot. We got new tier 3 weapons, chips and more ways to improve talents in the mastery tree. There are new tier 3 monostat and double stat artifacts, each with a unique passive perk, plus the ability to upgrade passive talents. New active runes and new recipes in the synthesis machine, so you can tweak your gear the way you want. Before, it was basically get 6 v6 artifacts and you're set. Now, gearing is a separate game inside the game. If you are the type of person who actually enjoys gearing, you won't regret it. Crafting changed in one way, but that one way changed everything. Before you learned the recipe once and that was it. You could craft that item forever. Now all recipes are available from level 1, but you need a recipe each time you want to craft the item. Recipes also have charges. Tier 1 and Tier 2 have more charges than Tier 3. Recipes also have quality. For example, an epic recipe can be used 4 times, while a common one might be only once. To solve the bank space problem, we got separate, almost infinite tabs for recipes and gathering materials. And just recently we got an ordering system, a little too complex but honestly necessary, that gives an opportunity to trade the best gear in the game outside of the binding system. Gathering was also improved. Instead of 3 max attempts, now we have 6, and the chances to get rare and epic materials were improved. Marketplace was added, and I don't think I need to explain how important that is. This is the same situation as gearing. All these changes turned crafting and gathering into a game inside the game, with a lot more depth and a lot more room to enjoy it, if that's your thing. Endgame PvE and PvP is probably the most painful area for players who play Corepunk daily. There haven't been that many changes here, especially compared to what players expected and what devs promised, but we did get some decent improvements and new content. Boss content was completely reworked. Bosses now have unique behavior and skill sets, and they can vary depending on keycard difficulty. And yes, keycards were added, a system that increases the difficulty of the game content with better rewards. Prison Island was added, and honestly, I think I could shoot a movie about its story since release. So many things happened to it, an intro system and then later removal, keycards, solo, duo and party variants, PvP, PvE, hardcore variants, mob reworks, and new mobs, boss heads, events. It was a rough time for this content, but today it's a great way to spend dozens of hours. It's hard for me to judge it with fresh eyes because I've spent I don't even know how much time there, so I guess new players will decide for themselves. PvP was also addressed. Battlegrounds, arenas, FFA, different types, different maps. For many daily players who already mastered bosses and Prison Island, it's a great place to live. And now, a bunch of smaller but still significant changes. Classes were reworked. Some like Shaman, Infiltrator and Ranger got major changes, others less, but still a lot. We also got a new Defender class. A lot of information resources were added to help players understand what's going on. For example, the map was reworked with interactive elements. You can read and learn both skills, what loot drops where, what materials are gathered in what areas, and so on. Overall game stability improved massively. I remember how it was compared to now, and I'm honestly thinking, how was it even possible to play back then? Of course, everyone has their own stability borderline for what feels playable, but compared to the old version, it's a huge improvement. It will be interesting to see how the game behaves on wipe, and later on release. And that's basically everything I can recall, and everything that, in my opinion, impacts player engagement. Like I said, endgame activities still have a lot to be desired. Another thing that annoys daily Corepunk players is bugs. But overall, this is a completely different game compared to the early access start, especially in terms of what makes an MMORPG an MMORPG. Regarding bugs and new activities, let's just hope the devs get more opportunities to address those. Systems became deeper, and according to the devs, for most of them this is just the first iteration, with improvements still coming. For almost every part I mentioned today, I actually have a dedicated video. If someone told me a year and a half ago the game would look like this, I would have been more than happy. On that note, goodbye. Thank you for your time, and see you in the next video.